Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be? Your friendly rogue trader, I guess, today. No, that's not right. Trade master? I don't know. We got to come up with a better name for this. What's it? The Grim Perilous, I'm the only war master? No, not really work for this game. In any event, we are playing tonight, or returning to our ongoing campaign, playing Fantasy Flight Games' outstanding Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40K RPG. And with me today are the stars of our Rogue Trader campaign. We're currently in an arc of this game called Long is the Way. And let me introduce you to the stars of tonight's session, part 2 of Long is the Way. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight. First up, we've got James.
I'm James. I'm playing Regius Benetech, the ship's secretly Xenos-obsessed navigator.
Very nice. Next up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Alessander. He is the Void Master and fear of the war.
Yep. He's also a bit of a... Well, wait for the first 10 minutes to go by. I think the last time when I did a summary of our previous session, it immediately demonetized it just by doing the summary. So maybe I'll save that for a little further into the session. Right. Last, but certainly not least, is Jeffrey. Last but certainly not least is Sean.
Hey, I'm playing Cornelia Aquade, the scion of the Aquade Rogue Trader family.
Nice. And the Lord Captain of what?
The Mortis Probati.
Very nice. Now, our current arc of this campaign, for those listening at home, we haven't played this campaign for almost 2 months now. So we had to do a fair bit of recap and whatnot. So we are starting out this. If you're watching this at another time, the session's going to be a little shorter than our usual ones. What kicked off this arc of the campaign was some very unfortunate rolls on the part of the navigator, wholly outside of his control, and we ended up with a trip through the warp leading from the... Oh man, I've already forgotten the name of the system. Socorus? Is that it? No. It is Magoros. From the Magoros system, where they had found a long-lost ship operated by Lord Captain Quinelli's ancestor. And unfortunately, on the trip back to their destination of Footfall, it will be taking nearly a year of time going through the warp. And last session, we covered the first 60 days of that travel. What do you guys recall happening during that time? And actually, let me bring you over with some visual cues here, because I think I have some things that might help trigger, or at least might prompt some memories. Now, where on earth am I going here? I think this is one. Yes. Does this ring any bells?
And we ended up in a fight trying to get rid of a warp creature. Was it not in here?
No, that was several sessions ago. This was the place where... this one, well, you know what, in fairness, it was largely Godwin who was the focus for much of last session. He had been following up on some rumors about unusual... religious practices, unconventional services. Does that help at all?
Yes. That brings back that he was doing some undercover-ish, not literally undercover, but some working some contacts.
This might also prompt some recollection.
And now he's gone mysteriously missing.
Yeah.
I see a mystery, guys.
It's true.
So what he uncovered last time was he managed to make some really great rolls to basically befriend one of the preachers who serviced one part of the Mortis Probati, one of the decks. And what that person uncovered and revealed to him is that behind a panel near the back of where the lectern or the podium, what do they call it? Pulpit, was located. There was something hidden behind the wall that he was uncertain. It seemed to be almost like coral or bone, but it had strange stones set in it. Yeah. There is a Xenos species that would certainly have a specific name for that, and it's, as you say, wraithbone. What he found was that part of the hull of the Mortis Probati, which at one point was part of a Space Hulk, is composed, seemingly, of an Eldar craft. And I believe we said 18% of the ship split across different parts of the hull are actually Eldar in design, and 9% further are other Xenos, as yet unidentified Xenos tech. The visions that Godwin had, who is not a psyker, not a mutant, it turns out are identical to the visions that Captain Aquare had just before the attempt on his life by the possessed servant. You may recall, Captain Aquare, you were dreaming of, once again, that Xenos ship. This is going back a few sessions.
Oh, yeah, okay. This I remember.
Captain Aquare, you had a vision of a masked Xenos creature of some kind. You recognize it, of course, as Eldar. Many of their designs are very similar. And when Godwin shared that with you, you recalled now having found yourself stripped naked to the waist, standing before some, strange section of the 1.5 kilometer long ship. You've been having blackouts over these past few months, seemingly going and exposing both yourself and the parts of the hull. There was some discussion that you guys had. As a result, this was brought to Captain Aquare's attention. Godwin presented it in the most favorable way possible. And part of what you guys spent the last half of last session, the last quarter of last session discussing, was what to do about this and what the potential consequence might be if the Eldar learn of this. Do you remember anything about that discussion?
Yeah, we were talking about whether we should sell the ship or bargain the ship to them in exchange for a better ship. There was some
we
of
might
that
have
talk.
one of them join us.
Or have one of them join us, right? Yeah, right. And I don't think we had got very far with that, right? I mean, we didn't. We just talked about it.
That's a lot of speculative stuff that's very far off. But Captain Aquare, there was a decision that needed to be made with respect to the psyker, because what also became evident is that the missionary is a unexposed psyker. He clearly has some kind of connection and an ability to contact the stones that seem to house these Eldar ghosts.
He's obviously a wee bit concerning. An unsanctioned psyker is a possible channel of demons.
An unsanctioned psyker who also seems to be enthralled by Xenos ghosts, for all intents and purposes. Because I think what you guys, those of you who were trained or at least have knowledge of such things, you know that one of the reasons the Eldar prize these stones so highly is because that is where their souls go after they pass. When their mortal forms cannot contain them any longer, they pass into these things. So quite literally, these are ghost stones in the walls.
Right.
Captain, I think the Ordo Xenos might want to speak to this man.
Unfortunately, the Ordo Xenos would probably...
Purchase all.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they strike you as more of a scalpel or a atomic bomb type.
At the very least, confiscate the ship, even if they didn't want to deal, even if they didn't take an aggressive stance towards us.
But an unsanctioned psycho who can't control his powers is a risky.
I mean, we can
Even
always
against his will. The risk is that it isn't his choice, that he may just get overcome.
What
Yeah,
both
I mean, there's much.
Captain Aquari and Godwin could tell you as well. You may remember we talked about this a bit last time about the difference. It's easy to look at the Eldar and think like, oh, they're like humans, but they're well and truly alien creatures. And one of the ways, if you contact an Eldar mind, humans would be overwhelmed by the depth and power of emotion that roils through them. And Godwin experienced that by when the priest helped him contact those stones. And you contacting them as well would know that it would be, even from your dreams, if these things are reaching you in your dreams, Captain Aquare, those were extremely vivid and extremely potent manifestations, even though if they are not mentally compelled empathically, it's like, trying to stay standing in the middle of a hurricane in the force of those. But at least from what Godwin has told you, they have kept things secret and they are not worshiping these things. They simply were trying to protect them. In contrast to, say, chaos, where chaos is, some might say that it is evangelical. Others may say malignant. So what do you guys wish to do? Our next task will be the next wave of difficulties for the next 60 days. But for now, how would you guys like to handle this? I'd say you should ask your seneschal, but he is nowhere to be seen.
I mean, far before we'd... I mean, in comparison to, alerting the Inquisition, we could simply take measures with this particular unsanctioned psyker ourselves. I mean, I'd say that's a starting point for our, not a starting point, but if we had to deal with it, the Inquisition isn't really workable. While if we had to deal with the unsanctioned psyker and take measures, then
Regius was not serious.
Right.
We're also at least about 9 months away from the Inquisition.
True.
It's also, I imagine, at the very best, you could say that the rogue traders have a tense relationship with the Ordo Xenos. A more practical way is of they don't want to, they would not want them snooping around any one of their ships because rogue traders are fast and loose with the laws of the Imperium on their own ships.
And Inquisitors aren't always the most flexible-minded.
Oh, definitely not. No.
Yep.
So, is the plan to do nothing for now, or and allow them to carry on as they are, or?
And so they were. What were they protecting the stones from? From discovery?
From discovery, and they seem to want to bring it to your attention, but they just did not have a way of doing so. They assumed that Godwin, they seem to have recognized who Godwin was, and as an agent of the Lord Captain, they saw it as a way of bringing these to his attention, because they seem to be communing with these ghosts.
They must think you have a connection with the Eldar, Captain. Is this true?
I'm trying to remember, did Captain Aquare tell everyone about his dreams of the Eldar? I thought he did, but I don't.
I kind of feel like he did.
Yeah, so then that would be why Godwin would have been able to connect that to you, and if not beforehand, when he brought you his visions and what he spoke about, you could likely share, because I think you guys did talk over like what you seeing that thing, because you may remember the last thing you heard before awaking and finding your manservant trying to fucking skewer you with your power sword was a warning. It warned you to wake up from your dream. Mm-hmm. And in the darkness, that's where you found someone lurking above you, and it turned out to be your manservant. We called it something else before, but I can't remember offhand what I called it before.
Steward, thank you. Yeah, manservant. And I want to say that weird,
strangely
surly in the Warhammer 40,000 world. Yeah. I want to say that I shared my vision perhaps just before that scene.
Okay.
Of the steward.
Okay. Yeah, so that was part of what I think your decision-making process was, realizing that this thing, at least some of these ghosts seem to have been looking out for you. No doubt for a self-interested purpose, but...
So what do we think about them? I mean, the two courses of action, if we were to take any, would be we could separate ourselves from the unsanctioned psyker in one way or another, dealing with that and not leaving him on our ship.
Airlock opens.
And the other course of action is regarding the ship, to do something about it, to start taking actions of, contacting the Eldar, whatever that looks like, which is also a whole ball of wax, its own Gordian knot of how to proceed there. So those are the two courses of action that I think we've discussed.
We just proceed and ask Godwin to keep in touch with the and see how this develops, because we're probably not going to find any Eldar. The Eldar might come and find us.
Yeah, I mean, we could put out the word. That's kind of, I'm not saying we'd be able to pull up to them, but we could put out the word that we're looking for them. They would be more likely to find us in such a case.
Well, there are you would know that in the Cronus Expanse, the Eldar you were likely to run across are either freebooters who are separate from any craft world. There is one craft world that apparently is in here, which would have all the... They are a little less likely to friendly and interact. When you approach an Eldar craft world, they just tend to assume that you're hostile and do terrible things to you.
Shoot first.
Yeah. And then the final is the Dark Eldar, and they're definitely not ones you want to run across. The freebooters are probably the most reasonable. They can be like mercenaries and whatnot. Yeah. They also act as go-betweens for craft world. It's not to say that the craft world doesn't They don't trade with others. Craft World as well too. Like, one of the reasons Regius is able to make a distinction for which hazards you guys face is because of the influence of Eldar tech in the ship. So it's worth remembering that the Eldar have arguably the most advanced technology of any species in the 40K universe. Everything else, by comparison, with the exception of the Necron, are infants.
Yeah. I mean, we probably just have the Seneschal keep an eye on it for now.
Okay. God,
What do you think, Alessander?
Well, I
Any
think
thoughts?
at the very least, we need to find a way to somehow profit greatly from this, Captain.
Nice, pilot. Tried
Right?
to stroke me. I like
Yes, of course. The Aquari Empire should grow much stronger from this.
it. Listen to you, Alessander.
One session of playing an Aquariate, he's already talking like one.
Right.
Getting ready for that review session. I see, Alessander. You're
Yes.
looking good.
That's the plan.
I love the idea of a 40K performance review with a servitor's skull kind of hanging in the back. So let's see how your performance was. You rated yourself as a Delta in key skills and anyway, and so on.
Oh, you're cutting yourself. Good.
Yeah. We're past the initial 10 minutes. We can't talk about how Alessander has been handling this trip in the warp.
Oh yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, boy.
he's, had some conditions.
Yep. All right. Then, is there anything else that you need to discuss before we turn our mind to the next week's events?
I don't think so. I think that we'll do that for now. And
So we're turning him over.
no, we're gonna let it fester and have the Seneschal keep an eye on it.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. To the purview of the Seneschal. Like,
Yeah. And just reconvene at the next meeting. In essence, we're gonna, we'll push this forward to our next executive bridge meeting that we're
Or as I
having
put
now.
it, we'll ignore a major problem because that always works out well.
Yes, we're gonna kick this can down the road, down the space corridor.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you
Is there
find a
anything
lump,
to be-
I'm sure it'll go away.
yeah. And
is there anything
what's
to
that?
be done to help him to control this?
That's an interesting thought. That's a good low threshold mention to put on the table. Regius, it's a good thought that the Seneschal.
Well,
since it
Lady
was
Ash
already-
is nearer to that sort of thing. So does Lady
Okay.
Ash have any thoughts?
Right,
I'm
As
sort
far
of a
as-
borderline psycho.
Sorry, Lady
well,
Ash.
like helping this psyker to control his or limit his purview for trouble. Like you said, it's very dangerous. So is there anything that we can do to help him to
there are likely measures she can take to
right, like maybe we should get her involved more.
Yeah.
As far as
At the very least, to help the Seneschal keep an eye specifically on his psychic situation.
yeah.
Well, one
exactly.
of the things I don't know if you need to see this here. I know that in Wrath and Glory, you can always try and counter. Like every psychic can also try and counter another psychic's abilities. So it's a way of sort of keeping in check. Suffer the Witch, I think it was called, and they typically duplicate a lot of the names across these games. So I wonder if that is one of the key abilities that psychers can always use in this too. Let's see. Navigators, I know, cannot do that, but what about psychics. Navigator mutations. Here we go. All right.
Yeah, because then in her performance review, she may just want to tell you how she resolved your problem.
Yeah. Right.
But it was my idea, Captain, to be fair.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It'll go in your file, Alexander, no fear.
Perfect, yes.
Yeah, I don't see it as something you can automatically do.
I don't remember it.
Yeah,
but,
like,
you know, it's...
I'm going to say she is. She'll at least have training in something like that. She was very highly ranked in Haderach Fell's estimation, and I imagine that's just one of the things that would go with that. I wonder if it's a talent, actually. Right, because that's one of the... I just want to say Suffer the Witch, once again.
It's always a good... it's a good name of a power, that one.
Heck yeah. Or Deny the Witch? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Deny the Witch. Is it? I came across that recently in a character.
Yeah.
Psychana.
Like, I know there's a thing in Wrath and Glory, but a lot of this, I mean, there's so many of these games where they just duplicate the names and whatnot, because I imagine they link back to the what do you call it, the tabletop game, the miniature game. There's an ability called Wrath of the Righteous. That's hilarious. Any Pathfinder fans out there will appreciate that one. Okay, so I don't see it in here, but I also haven't looked at Navis Primer, which has a bunch of other ones, so that could have more information. In any event, if what your question is whether she can watch over him, she absolutely can do that. And that's actually...
at least to help, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a role she also relishes. In the 2 months that you have been gone, she has also reconstructed a familiar for herself. She has a like cyborg crow familiar once again now. Because you guys,
she had that before.
She had that before. That's what stole the Nebelith before, or tried to at least, and you guys shot it down, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, she'll be happy to do
no
so.
hard feelings. Rather
than being the head of the astropathic or the astropathic choir, she will kind of be your psychic troubleshooter on board. What could possibly go wrong there?
Yeah, of course.
Yep. All right, then, as a reminder, for facing the... Oh, look at that, guys. I just happened to grab the Coronis Bestiary as the first thing. I'm sure that doesn't mean anything bad is coming. Well, that's weird that I would have that one on top, guys. All right, here we go. The Navis Primer. So here's a reminder for our stalwart navigator. When facing the two options of what you are dealing with, there are two types of encounters that you can reach. One is psychic and one is physical. The physical ones require you to physically navigate around them. It involves a navigator roll by you, followed by a piloting roll by Alessander to physically move around this thing in the eddies of the immaterium. The psychic ones, however, involve more of you facing certain things, and we're going to try something different. I read over the rules again yesterday, and I read them over again today, and I just am not crazy about... It basically boils down to, well, you come up with something. It's like there are no interesting rules here. There are, or at least there are no clear rules to follow for this. So we're going to try something different with this. I think might give a little more opportunity for role playing and might serve the same purpose, run the same risks, but will offer a little bit more of a different structured experience. So bear that in mind when deciding between which things you wish to face. Now let me get our list of travels here. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So this is week 13. Oh my gosh. You guys got a ways to go. So, week 13. Will you be...
Do we know that? Do we know? We wouldn't know that in game, would we? Do we know in game, or does in other words, do we know how long it's going to take exactly? Do we know that?
I think you must. Yeah, the navigator must know that.
Okay.
The path that you're following, because I mean, like, you can choose to drop yourself out. Yeah, I can't. I think that there's always. I don't remember reading anything in the Navis Primer where it was concealed from you that about how long the trip would be.
Okay.
You know, because I mean, like part of the stuff, it's not that like someone did a shit job of it. It's just all of the different things, that all the different moving elements that go into navigating the warp, which is an impossible task anyway, just happened to come together in this, where the only safe path that Regis was able to navigate was this one that takes you a huge fucking winding road. And even along the way, each of these encounters are things that you cannot plan for, right? That you did not realize. So they're challenges you'll meet as you go. But I mean, as far as how long the trip would take, I think you can always always be aware of that. All right, so this task is your choice of either something you cannot avoid, spontaneous inhuman combustion, damage to one component on the ship, or a warp storm, which is a physical component or physical manifestation. This will be the detecting and then navigating around. On a fail,
I suggest let's do the warp storm. That sounds fun. What could go wrong with the warp storm?
All right. So then,
I've got this.
Little winds.
I'm feeling good about it.
So what this will require is first a challenging navigation test from you, but I believe you get plus 10 from the Wraithbone Hull.
All right.
And isn't there a plus 10 you also get for your position as the the Primaris Navigator or something like that?
I didn't think so.
Didn't we get, so when we gave
but
you
I'll take it.
Maybe it's, so let me take a look at Into the Storm, because when we assigned roles to all the members of the ship, we talked about the different bonuses, and I thought you got a bonus from that as the Primaris Navigator. Let's see here. Here we go. It is... There's the Lord Captain. Navigator Primaris. You gain +5 to the navigation warp skills for the purpose of steering it through the warp.
So warp navigation +15.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not working.
Yeah, it's not working on it.
So let me just roll that.
Firefox
again. 1d100 less than.
Here we go. Big money. Yeah. All right. What is your navigation right now? Holy shit.
81.
Oh my god. That's fantastic. All right.
It's my skill.
All right, so success. So you are able to communicate the necessary adjustments that need to be made. Somewhere off in the Immaterium, you can sense there is something that will begin rendering, it's not drawing it, rending the Mortis Pravati asunder. So Alessander, it falls to you as the Chief Navigator or Main Master Helmsman. Master Helmsman, you gain plus 10 on the evasive maneuvers action, so it does not include this. So you will need to give us a ordinary plus 10 pilot spacecraft test, please.
Nice. Okay. Does this button work?
I don't think it does. I think that's one of those cascade skills that doesn't seem to work in.
Slash roll 1d
Firefox.
And you said I have plus 10, right?
Plus 10 to it, yeah.
Less than.
Would you like to spend a fate point and re-roll that?
100%.
Go right ahead.
Come on, roll 20.
Oh, success.
Nice.
So it is a near thing. The Mortis Probati, and let's bring us back to that terrifying vision of a ship being torn apart by the Immaterium. Fortunately, that does not occur. You are flying the ship along, and Alessander, you are able to masterfully navigate the vessel around. What is going on with my... Oh, there we go. You navigate around the storm itself. So this week, you survive for yet another day. Next week, I believe we need another willpower test, I think, from you there, Alessander, because...
Right, it's every time we encounter something.
Every time we encounter something. Okay, so then... so why don't you give us a... I think the willpower week from last week was for this thing. And were you cutting yourself every day or every week?
Well, you'd
Every
stopped
hour?
for a bit, hadn't you?
He was feeling much better because you guys had that, 4-week period where you didn't have any encounters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was able to, recover some sanity.
Yeah. And, oosh.
And health.
Yes.
Yeah, at the end of any warp encounter. So this is the end of it. Give us a challenging willpower test. So no modifier, 0. Willpower test was 0 modifier.
Oh, see, this is why I keep failing. I only have a 38 willpower. This is why this is so bad for me.
Success.
There you go.
Holy.
All right.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Whether it was
as they
your
say.
success or otherwise, you have successfully navigated that. Your next week's issue is either a delusional mirage, which is a psychic threat, or psychic predators, which will be creatures from the warp trying to manifest on the ship. So, and both are psychic encounters. The delusion will cause everyone on board to make another willpower test or begin to suffer warp hallucinations.
No, that does not sound good.
What do you think, Regis?
Oh, I think the captain should make the call on this one.
Yeah. Everyone looks behind them. Oh, what do you think? What do you...
So Regis will be trying to, it'll ultimately fall down to him to force these things away or keep these things away. It is him psychically waving a burning stick, trying to keep the wolves at bay. Is it the psychic threat, or in a mental, sense, or is it the hungry, maddening creatures of the warp? that you wish to risk?
Have we dealt with the former before?
Every time you transition into the warp, you need to go through that. It'll be effectively the exact same thing.
We call it the cactus experience, I think.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Which,
What's that?
what's it? Which would you prefer?
Get punched in the face
Can
or
I
the
just say,
eye?
this is a great fucking game.
It's so fantastic.
You want to put that nail in your foot, or you want to put that nail in your hand?
Right. True enough. I'm reminded of a question I've asked before of myself of why I haven't raised willpower more. Anyway, that's a whole other subject. I'm thinking. No thoughts? No one has any to help me triangulate? What do you think?
I would really appreciate seeing the transcript of that, because what you would be saying is, I'm thinking no thoughts.
I mean, I don't like the one where we have to make a willpower save, because that will just mean I have to make 2 willpower saves. And I'm not feeling good about that.
Also,
Predator gives me moments of anxiety, though.
What does
The word
Regius?
predator gives me moments of anxiety.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good, right?
No.
Okay. Well, you know what? We can leave it up to the Emperor, and he fishes into his pocket for. Have I ever had anything in there? I want to say that I had like a grandfather's something, a coin or a.
Sure.
That could be. Let's see.
An old worn crown.
yeah.
Yes. I pull it out. I look at everyone, and I say,
Are they called
what do you-
thrones in the game? Am I
Yeah, I
misremembering
think
that?
thrones or crown. Yeah. Although there isn't really a currency, so.
Yeah.
Any
In the grim darkness of the far future, we all use debit.
Tick, touchless only.
So he says, low is the predators. He flips it. It is the delusions then.
You're tasking your minds. All right,
Yes.
then. Regius, would you give us... Well, here, let me see. I want to draw.
Cacti for everyone.
Let's see. So what you're going to have to do is basically prepare yourself to face this wave of psychic energy that's going to break even through the Geller field. And to do so, what you will need to do is undergo a trial of endurance. So in this psychic landscape, what you will need to construct is a circumstance from your memory or from your imagination that answers the question, what will you suffer?
Oh, gosh.
So, Regis, with your experience from beforehand, what would be a best way of bolstering yourself to prepare to suffer?
I will imagine myself back on that planet where we met the orcs and having to surrender the knowledge of that Xenos culture, where we had to leave it. Had to forgo such knowledge.
Okay. So
Caused me pain, that did.
perhaps then you are envisioning a barren and desolate Xenos city, but one that is curiously cosmopolitan in the sense that every building you look at, every place you look at, every structure around you seems to be from some as yet unknown but lost Xenos culture. And you know in the heart of your being, in the same way that you know the way towards the Emperor himself, that each of those countless structures holds untold riches in secret knowledge waiting for you. So I think what I'd ask you to do is give us a willpower test, because what's happening is as you are standing in that place, you are beginning to hear the calls of first dozens, then hundreds, then thousands of murmuring voices, callbacks from, or voices that are calling from beyond the grave of these civilizations, beckoning you to come and learn. What is Regis doing to resist this?
I will just stare into the distance and neither look to the left, neither to the right.
Let's be correct in our nomenclature. You will try. Go ahead and give us a willpower check, please. Challenging. So no modifier.
Well, that's easy.
Would you care
and
to
the
spend a fate
degradation
point?
of my fate points begins.
Exactly. Well, remember, during these willpower tests, oh boy! So during these phases as well, as a reminder, we're going to rotate in the spending of fate points because otherwise we just exhaust Regis's in one encounter.
Right.
So Regis, you try. Why don't you tell us how your resolve breaks? What is it that calls out to you that prevents you from resisting that temptation?
Yeah, I hear whispers of... I can feel it rather than hearing it, of worlds I've never seen, worlds I've never heard, off to the side, and I just cannot resist the urge of my mind reaching out to it.
Well, it's adding into, there are the scents of flowers, you know, dead for millennia that reach your... There are songs said by, you know, sung by long dead voices in languages that have been abandoned for before the humans ever set forth from Holy Terra. And it's into one of those. You may not even see yourself walking over. You're just suddenly standing over one of these casks of knowledge. And as you open it up, I'd like you to give us a 1d5 roll.
This is how many fate points I get back, boys.
It's definitely how many points you gain. It is how many points of insanity that you gain as this terrible knowledge washes over you. And everyone give us a challenging willpower check, please, as this psychic threat breaks through Regis's bulwark and washes across the crew.
Oh, look at that. On the number.
Jesus. Alessandro, well done. And Regis.
Amazing.
Let's see that big willpower put to work once again.
So I've got two. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, you do as well. Yeah,
Just...
everyone has to suffer the hallucinations or the potential for...
Of course.
You want to spend a fate point?
May as well. Let's give it again.
Can.
These characteristic rolls are tough.
Would you give us a percentile roll, please? Oh, and hold on, what's added to that? Oh, for every degree. So and you actually get plus 30, so that's 107. Oh. So it's either a choice of the flesh is weak, which is what Alessandra is currently suffering under. And the reason I give it a choice is because we've already got one person suffering the same thing. It seems kind of boring to have two doing the same thing. But there's that, where you got to make a willpower test or start cutting yourself. Or the horror. The horror. Where you take 2 points of insanity immediately and 1 point of insanity per 30 days in the warp. I'm going to guess that Cuddy might be what you want to go with. But,
yeah, because I'm about to trip over an insanity level.
A threshold? Okay.
Let's not go there.
No.
Then...
I don't need an insane navigator.
Do we?
More insane.
Dave comes back in 2 weeks, like smoldering hole in the warp for where the ship used to be. What happened, guys? So then Alessandra and Regis need to give us a willpower check or begin with the mutilation.
Oh, God.
How do we think this roll's going to go?
I have good feelings about this one.
Oh, good God, I actually passed it.
Regis did well. Alessandra, you want to hear fate point that? Or
Can't remember. It's a D. I take damage, right?
it's a D10 rending.
God. Okay, but I am healed up right now, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with this one.
Yep. Here we go.
All right, here we go. 1d10.
1d10, yeah, and
Oh, good. There you go.
rending is I think you roll twice to take the higher of the two, though.
Oh, of course.
Sorry.
Hey, look at that.
2-2.
Roll 20. My bad rolls come in handy.
Pretty
Nice.
good.
Wait. This goes under.
The red bar in your token
Yeah.
should track back. All right.
Right.
So that
It's
is.
just a quick one.
Yep.
The rending is just the type. It's not.
Oh, it's just the type of damage. Okay, never mind.
tearing
That's why I
is the
couldn't-
one that is
Right.
double-
Oh,
Okay, so ignore me.
Good to know for the future.
All right. I was wondering, like, why can't I find that quality? Because it doesn't exist. All right. Then that is that for week 14. I have some terrific news, guys. Week 15, no encounters.
Oh, we get a break.
Do I naturally heal? I can't remember.
You need to be in. What is it? It's a very minimal amount. Where is it here? Why don't you give us a percentile roll? We'll assume someone's going to give you Medicaid treatment first. Let's see.
And I actually have a question about that too, because
Good roll.
25. That's a good roll. Okay, so you will get treatment here. Yeah, because you would have had 2 weeks to heal now too, Captain. Give me a sec here.
because I gained wounds from advancement.
Oh, you would gain those automatically. Yeah. Like you would heal up if.
Gotcha.
You get those as fully healed when you gain them.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Very good.
And let's check under healing first. Oh, that's healing. Here we go. You. Whoa. So you're not. What's your toughness bonus, Alessandro?
Toughness bonus.
The tens digit from your toughness.
5.
Okay, so you are lightly damaged, which means you can remove 1 damage per day through natural healing. So you will gain 5 more back during this week where you're not cutting yourself.
Okay, right. So the rounds that I don't hurt myself, I gain 5, basically.
Yeah, the days.
Or the days, sorry.
Days
Okay,
where I don't
that's
hurt
good.
myself, I gain 5.
Yeah.
Yep. So you'll gain,
Look.
1 point, 1 point per day. So, all right, then that brings us, so that week where you have no encounters. The next will be week 16. Your choice, Mr. Navigator, is Psychic Predators, which will be yet another psychic challenge, or an Etheric Reef, which will be a physical challenge. If you run into the Etheric Reef, the vessel takes damage, ignoring void shields, which means you're losing crew, because when you lose hull points, you lose crew too. If the Geller field is damaged, it's more damage. If it's not operational, it's even catastrophic damage. Ooh, shut up. Whoa. So you'll be running aground into basically a warp version of a iceberg. So
Alexander could avoid it? Is that a piloting? Or
that is a navigation, then piloting. One to avoid that, or Regis undergoes another psychic challenge.
Well, there's bigger pay just to do the thing. I've got a 50-50 chance of passing those psychic tests.
Those aren't always going to be willpower. It will depend on how you sort of structure it. The way that you set it up, it just seemed like it was...
No. But
yeah.
That's one of my best. But if anything around attributes is poor, right? Whereas the other one, we can use our skill to get around it.
Yeah. It is definitely Imperium Maledictum and Wrath and Glory both do what Warhammer Fantasy does and gives you skills to be able to bump all those like default, tasks.
Shall we try to navigate, Captain?
Meaning the physical?
Physical, yeah.
Sure.
The Etheric Rift or Reefs, it is. All right, so then Regis, would you kindly give us a challenging navigation check? So that'll be plus, what is it? Your navigation skill plus 15
again. Yep. Let me just get that in.
Like a 4% chance of failing that. I shouldn't have said that out loud. Sorry. You're good.
Go.
Then it's on you, Alessander. A piloting spacecraft test at plus 10.
All right, here we go. Oh, right. That's just that roll because it can't do the thing.
Yep. At plus 10. So here we go.
Yes.
Yes.
Nicely done.
Feels good.
So you navigate past this. Then would both Alessander and Regis give us willpower tests, please? That was a stressful situation. Would either of you care to fate point that, or do you take the...
I would, but I have a feeling I need the fate points elsewhere.
Okay, so go ahead and give us a 1d7.
Oh man, I'm gonna risk it too.
Regis, what is your toughness bonus?
5.
Great. Oh no.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right, so fortunately, I think you, what did you say your toughness bonus was, Alessandro? A 5? Or 4?
Oh, 5. Yeah, 5.
Okay, thank God. Okay, so neither of you suffer critical wounds from this. Wow. But you are getting very close to doing actual damage to yourself. The good news is the following week, week 17, you will run into no encounter, which means you will recover 5 points each, because it still is a lesser wound that you guys have suffered, but you will be going into this next week where there is an encounter. Injured.
Oh, God.
All right, week 18. The two options.
Everyone enjoying your trip so far?
It's wonderful.
Loving it.
Week 18
Alexander
will
hates
be
the warp.
an etheric rift physical challenge or a temporal hole, a physical encounter as well. A temporal hole is one where you are thrown out of the warp. You take all the consequences of leaving the warp and you are severely off course, so you don't know where the hell it will dump you. So, temporal hole or etheric rift?
What do you think,
Captain? Your thoughts? I think getting lost, so dropping out the warp is bad. Being lost is bad. The reef isn't good, but that sounds very bad.
The reef would allow you to continue your journey, at the least.
Yeah, getting lost seems horrible, because then this could extend even longer.
Although if we stay out of the warp, we stop cutting ourselves.
True.
Alessandro and Regis sit down. Are you okay, crew? We're good. What do you think, Captain?
Is there an ability to, just for all the information, to dodge the warp hole?
Both will be
Or
requiring the
dodgeable.
same. It's really a matter of deciding what potential consequence. Neither of them are more easy or more difficult to avoid. It involves the same navigate a path, then follow the path process.
I guess we'll try. We'll go with the same thing.
I mean, the reef involves hundreds of people dying, of course, but
not you guys.
and we are 40k, so we don't care about the minions.
Exactly.
Well, they die for the Emperor. I mean, it's what they want.
All right,
Die for your
then,
profit, I think.
Regis, would you give us your navigation check, please? Let's see. Come on. Here it comes. Success.
Everyone pleased I
Alessandro.
invested in this skill?
Alessandro, would you kindly give us a piloting check again? Plus 10.
All right. Oh, yeah. That's right. It's 50.
Here it comes. 71%.
Come on.
Oh!
You want to fate point that?
Yeah, see, this is why I'm saving my fate points.
Nice. The Mortis Probati suffers no damages once again. You masterfully navigated around, working as an expert team. Speaking of team,
She is a great ship captain. Don't know how you could think of selling this to the Elder.
truly. I will point out too, it's the ship that allows you to pick the two encounters. Otherwise, you'd be stuck with whatever you rolled. It is I randomly rolled what the things that you were starting with were on the ship, and what a cool fucking ability.
Yeah.
So then, both Regis and Alessandro, would you give us a willpower check, or see if you're indulging in the celebratory carving of bicep?
I can't tell you how much I enjoy this mechanic.
Seriously, when your player next complains about it being difficult playing a psyker, you just sit them down, open this page up in the Navis Primer.
Right.
Like, listen, motherfucker, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
So that is a major wound, which will now heal much slower.
Goodness.
And Alessandro, you succeeded. Nicely done. So Regis,
So how you? I'm going to burn a fate point.
yeah, you can't burn a fate point to heal anymore.
Oh, I can't.
You can do that
okay.
in combat. Otherwise, it undermines the whole purpose of the.
No, fair enough.
Yeah, because what it is like I want to be able to reward you guys with fate points fairly often, but I also want like the wound mechanic to actually have a consequence to it. So, what you can do is where did I put the core rule book? Wisely, I assumed you guys would not suffer any more damage and close the healing section of the book. Fool, more the fool am I. Regis, would you give us a percentile roll, please? Let's see if the Medicus will be able to assist you on this.
Nope.
No. Tell me how this squeezed lime feels in your wound. Is it helping, or I may be reading this book backward. This is a recipe for a margarita. Get that salt off of there. Hold on.
I hope you guys do well with that navigator.
So here's an upside: is you will have. Oh no, you will not. That wasn't one of my bullshit, like, setting you things. I genuinely thought there was a rest next time. There is not, which means you're not going to heal anything, Regis, before the next thing. You're not healing for a week, and the Medicus wasn't able to help you. So, next week's encounter, guys.
Oh, God.
Will be
a huge success.
Temporal hole. That's that one that drops you out of the warp. It's a physical encounter. Or a warp rift, which is also a physical encounter. The warp rift extends your trip by 1d10, and each day of that we roll for an encounter.
Let's drop out.
Because
I won't survive that. I've got no hope of surviving that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we've been forced.
Because that'll kill both of us for sure.
Yeah.
Get your act together, crew. My
Like,
heavens.
you can't remember. You guys are in a ship of you have a whole crew, but you can delegate down. It just means it's people who are less capable who will be taking over then.
Right, but we still have to roll the willpower at the end of
Oh
it.
yeah, but they can do what they did with you, is strap you down and not allow you to hurt yourself any longer. The trouble is they got to do it for a fucking week, and when you're making these rolls, you're gonna have to delegate to one of your underlings.
Right.
Yeah, and the trouble is that my underlings are going to have a bit less than a 96% chance of succeeding.
Yes, they will.
By about 60.
Fair enough.
So, my point being, there is still an option there for you guys. It's not a matter you got to keep doing it till you die. It just, you will have to, it'll be a little dicier. You may be having to pick the things that you think you can suffer and survive as your encounter, as opposed to just carrying on. So, what is the choice then? The temporal hole?
Yeah, the temporal hole, I think, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Regis, would you give us a navigation check, please? Let's see how that goes. Nice.
Nice.
All right, Alessander, piloting check, please. Now, this is dicey. Here it comes. Success. Beautiful.
Nice.
So, in spite of the challenge for this and the peril that comes from potentially being cast out of the warp into God knows where, the Emperor knows where, doesn't really have the same ring to it. It really seems like you're suggesting the Emperor knows where. So, then Regis and Alessander, would you give us willpower checks, please? Nice, Regis.
With confidence.
Yep.
That's what we needed. That's what we needed.
Nice.
Look at
Critical success. Beautiful. All right. So unfortunately, there is no rest for the crew of the Mortis Probati. Your next choice is a warp storm or a warp rift. I'm going to assume it's the storm because the rift is the thing that causes a whole bunch of encounters.
Oh,
Storm it is.
Storm it is. All right, I'm marking it down. 20. Warp storm. You're heading into there. Regis, give us your navigation check, please. I should bring the... Do I have the Mortis Probati here? Somewhere hidden? Nope, there's Godwin.
Mortis Probati.
Oh, boy. A narrow success. Let me bring the token for the Mortis Probati over here. Yes, I think we have it.
Mortis Probati.
Even 96 isn't a guarantee.
no, it's not.
I truly love the dice. It's honestly one of the things that's been a shit ton of fun with Savage Worlds. Playing superheroes in Savage Worlds, like, you can always roll fucking snake eyes on stuff, so it's never like oh, we're immune to any kind of potential fun consequence. So, Alessander, give us a piloting check at +10, please. Again, nice. Successfully navigate around there. Would you each give us a willpower check, please?
Me too?
No, just Alessander and Regis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
I'll need to try a fate point because otherwise,
Okay.
as I say, this could do me completely.
On.
Oh.
Oh God.
Do you want to fate point that? Alessander?
I guess so. We only got an hour left, but that's not. I only have one left.
What you need is just a little bit of a break. Oh. Okay. Alessander, give us a 1d10 roll.
There we go. Okay.
Only 2. All right. So
yes.
now, this will be another week. So unfortunately, there is no rest still. No safe harbor in the warp for the crew of the Mortis Probati. Your next 2 choices are either Psychic Predators, which will be a psychic encounter, or another Etheric Reef, which is a physical encounter.
A reef, boys, or you want to try the predator thing?
Oh. So the reef would be all you, Regius?
No,
Well, it's the same. It's the
I'm
same.
sorry.
Psychic
Other way
Predators would be
around?
only Regis. Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, so let's not do that.
Yeah, it seems.
Now I'm down to 3 hit points.
Yeah, we'll do the reef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you... Yeah, there we go. Kindly give us a navigation check, and then Alessander, piloting at +1. Etheric Reef.
There we go.
Let's see here. Does the luck of our...
Oh.
Would you care to spend a fate point on that?
I think I have to.
I will tell you, the consequence of this is damage to the ship.
Oh.
The consequence of the temporal rift is you drop out of warp.
I don't know. What do you guys think? It's my last one.
We've got Captain Aquarius sitting there on 5.
Yeah, I think one thing you could do is, because we've been talking about spreading them around, Captain Aquar, if you want to start distributing some of your fate points to your crew, I think I'd allow that. See, if you wanted to, say, give 2 to each of them and leave yourself with 1 for you and then 3 for each of your crew. Is that how generous you wish to be, or...
Man, it seems like a different game, GM. I mean, you're going from Warhammer 40,000 to My Little Pony right there, but let's see here.
I mean, I don't have a problem.
Well, we can crash your ship.
Kevin, maybe you and I should drop off to a different channel to have this conversation.
It depends. Would you like your ship to have severe damage or not?
I'll do
Is it your ship, Alexander?
Alexander has blown it, so he succeeded.
He did
I
it.
will leave Captain Aquari to make that decision. If he does, he can tell us in chat. If not, we'll assume he is not sharing his fate points. Would each Alexander and Regius kindly give us a willpower check, please?
All right, here we go.
Success. Nice. So that is a 5-day respite from this, which means Regis will heal 1 point, and Alexander will heal 5. Because you only lightly wounded yourself. Nice. The captain is giving 1 fate point to each of you.
Nice.
And he says no, and he's whatever that looks. He says no, don't thank me. It's it's the least I can do to
The
my
first thing I would
crew.
say is, please do not drown me in thanks.
It would be unseemly for you to be gushing all over the place to your captain.
Boy, oh boy.
Alexander, we
This-
need to talk to my friend in the Inquisition when we get back.
Yeah, with your multi-jointed arms, good call.
Oh god.
So then, next week, guys, week 22, I have some good news. Regis will not have to make a decision here, because I rolled the exact same encounter. And it is spontaneous inhuman combustion. The ship is suffering a fire aboard the ship.
Alessandro, I did give you a fate point if you did not see the.
Oh, I put it on my thing. It didn't show up.
Maybe you did. Maybe maybe it's just my.
Oh yeah, I have 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
So the first thing that happens, would Regis give us a 1d5 roll? And would Alessandro give us a 1d10 roll, please?
And
Is this which body part of Captain Aquari catches fire? There's 1 point of damage to the
Let's
head.
see
There
here.
it is.
Here's the Mortis
Growing
Verbatim.
bitterness in Regius. It's noticeable. At this
All right,
point.
so the first thing that happens is... Oh, we also need... Captain, would you give us a 1d10 roll, please?
I was just saying the Mortis Probati's already got quite a lot of damage.
yeah, I think some of it might have been sustained on this journey.
Oh, boy. Okay. So... We haven't done ship combat in quite a while. I think since our second session. All right. Here we go. The Geller Field. bursts into flame. Which means the ship suffers 3 points of damage to the crew population, which means you are down to 90% of your crew. 1 in every 10 crew members that set forth from footfall is now dead. However, the morale only goes down by 1. They didn't like those people anyway.
Bunch of jerks died.
Now, with the component ablaze, let's see here. What you will need to do now, the crew population is down to 90%. It's only when you hit 80% of the crew that it begins to impact your travel times because of crew efficiency, and morale does not become affected until 80%, in which case the command checks with the crew get more difficult. So where you are right now is someone's going to need a difficult command test to get the fire crews organized and get them together so they can put out this fire. Currently, it is only damaged. If the fire is not put out, we do more damage, and the component might be destroyed. You may lose your Geller field, which keeps the perils of the warp at bay. So, do we know anyone on the crew who has a good command skill?
I don't, Alessandra. Can you think of anyone? Godwin's away this week as well, just as we need him.
I will tell you one thing. We've, unless we've ruled against the use of them, your captain has not been using his little boost thing to give plus 10%.
Yeah, I wasn't sure with no rounds, but maybe...
I can't remember if we used them. Honestly, I don't remember if we used them before. I think it's a tactical thing. Yeah, once per round. So I think that's more of a situational thing. But, Captain, would you care to give us a command check at minus 10?
All right. Let's see here. Command.
Here it comes, Captain.
Minus 10.
There you go. So why don't you tell us, what is it like as this crisis appears on the ship and a terrible inferno is beginning to consume the Geller field? Curious coincidence that your most crucial protection against the warp is the thing that catches fire. Sabotage? Ill fortune?
I mean, he's definitely... It's I mean, it focuses the mind. It's immediate. You know, there's smoke, and he's screaming out orders going through. He might have even shed his clothes from the waist up, you know, to beat on his chest in order.
Yeah. To lead everyone. Yeah.
More water, a foreship, you scurly lads. You know that all that.
So. Your crew, I believe we track in the thousands, right?
Yes.
Isn't it like 10,000 crew?
Per number, you mean?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if we can put a number to the number of souls lost to that tragedy. Let's see here.
Let's see.
It'll be under the ship descriptions.
Right.
For
starships. There is a starship chapter.
Yeah, there's a starships chapter where I think is before playing the game. Yeah, there we go. You have merchant trader, 18,000 crew.
Wow.
Which means that is 3% of them. So that's what?
600?
No. Or not?
Yeah, it's less than
6%
that.
of 18,000?
It's a
600,
3%.
3%.
5,400? 5,400, eh?
5,400.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of folks lost in that. And for that week, once again, Alessandro, Regis, would you give us a willpower check?
Oh no.
That's going to keep us busy. 5,400 Emperor's Last Rites, going through the.
Oh God.
Regis
There you
succeeds.
go.
Okay, that's good. This is the way we needed it to be, though. If someone's going to fail and someone's going to succeed.
Yep. Alessandro,
Just typing her away.
4 points, okay. And then at the end of that week,
Less than
Regis, you
half.
will heal 1 more point. And Alessandro, you will heal 5 over the course of that week. We then go to the next week, 23. Unfortunately, once again, no choice in the matter. You'll be facing a warp rift, a physical threat. This is the one that spirals into multiple encounters.
Okay.
So here we go, Regis. Success.
There you go.
Nice. Alessandro, your piloting
Piloting?
check, please. Come on.
Come on.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Well done. All right, then would you each give us a willpower check as well?
You know, after this, it's going to be hard to picture going into the warp. After we finally come out, we're going to need a long.
Imagine, you guys are spending almost a fucking year on this trip.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Where are we going? No one can remember where we're going at that point.
Children will be conceived and born during the course of this fucking trip.
Right.
Terrible, mutated children.
Right.
Success by Regis. Nice.
That's good.
Success,
Yes.
Alessandro. Excellent, guys.
What a good week.
All right, so then 24 to reach, I believe, the halfway point in your journey. Guys, I'm so sorry. Once again, you are faced with no choice. Because you have no encounter for this week. So, for this week, Regis, you heal 1, and Alessandro, you are back up healed to top once again.
Wow.
You are on the home stretch now, folks. And I think that by reaching the halfway point, everyone can take a fate point. You are halfway home.
Amazing.
Next, back into the maelstrom. Week 25 will be Psychic Predators, requiring Regis to undergo a psychic endeavor, or what's the not endeavor, a psychic. Can't remember the word I'm looking for is here.
Trial. But let's do the other one.
Try anything else. The other one will be a warp storm.
Warp storm it is.
Warp storm it is. Go right ahead. Now your Geller field is damaged, which means that some of these things will be hitting much harder now. Not as hard as it would be if they were destroyed, but Regis, go ahead and give us successful navigation. And Alessandro, would you give us a successful piloting check, please?
Yes.
Success. Would you each give us a willpower check, please?
Oh, lucky.
Strong.
Nice.
Yes.
Just squeaked by. Regis, during
Wow.
that week of the warp storm, you suffer or you heal 1 point back. Our next stretch of 3 weeks sees no encounters at all. That is 3 points that Regis heals back. Anna says congratulations.
So we did determine that I can't use my
Yeah, because that's per
exceptional
round, per combat round.
yeah. Okay. And secondarily, since there's 3 weeks, is there any opportunity to work on morale?
No,
Okay.
not during this trip. No.
All right.
No, I don't think there's not really. I'll have to double check and see how you work on. Let's do that now. Fuck it. I know it's so unprecedented. We look up rules mid game, but fuck it. Let's.
This game has a lot of rules.
It's got a lot of rules, and we also had some breaks here. Replenishing morale and crew. If the starship is currently involved in attempting to complete an endeavor, you can bribe the crew with gelt or the promise of gelt. At any point during a shipboard journey, you can attempt to restore morale by losing 50 achievement points by making a routine charm check. Success means you've quieted the crew. Frigates, transports, so it'd be your size thing. They restore 1d10 morale. You can do it as many times as you like, and the difficulty should always increase by 1 each time you do so. After all, thrones are only so good. It is thrones, okay. It's like fucking resin in my head, like useless trivia about different settings.
Yeah.
After the you can also just try and like get them in line. A difficult -10 charm or intimidate check to rally the crew. We're getting 2 morale for each degree of success. This will work only once per game session. Of course, the best way to restore morale is to be back in a port, which you're not going to be for some time. So what do you think? You want to take a hit to your filthy lucre from recovering this expedition, or do you want to take a just make a flat-out charm or intimidate check to try and restore some morale?
Now I'm checking quick check of talents.
Sure. While you do that, I'm just going to make sure, because Anna's been sick today. She's up again. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I'll make sure she's okay.
You got this, Captain.
Where's that healing rules? It's a nightmare. One a week.
Oh yeah, you took that serious one. I think was the problem.
This feels on the ship. We should be able to do a bit better.
Anna made her willpower check, and we had no puking, so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's try the harsh.
Yep. Okay. So either intimidate or charm at -10.
All right, let's see here.
Dealer's choice.
The honey or the sticks, sir?
We're gonna go honey.
It's been tough times.
It has.
I think the Colombian equivalent is plata or plomo. Whoosh. Well, do you fucking make it worse on a fail? Hold on. Doesn't say anything about failing, so you want to spend a fate point?
And this is just, you can only do this once a session?
Once per session.
Let's see. Well, on the one hand, you can only do it once a session, so that would argue for it. On the other hand, I feel like we need those fate points for distribution.
I love that. Captain Aquarius, actually, that's a valid point. Captain Aquarius' concern is like, do we going to get 2 points of morale back? And Alessandra and Regis are carving away on their arms.
Yeah.
And there's blood all over the bridge. It's unseemly.
It's really, yeah. You are still, like, you're not in a critical point of morale right now, either.
Right. I
still...
think I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
so then...
just a quick one. If I... To avoid collapsing in a heap again. If I understand it right, I've got to 10. And I think once I've got to 9, I would get... I'm lightly wounded.
Oh, let's see here.
So would I then get 5 on the last one?
Let's take a look here. Let's see here. Like I thought it was the degree to which you were wounded before tells you how fast you're going to heal in general.
Oh, right, maybe.
But I just don't remember offhand one way or the other, so let's take a look.
Because you're lightly damaged if you've taken damage equal to or less than twice your toughness.
Right. But that's not what you've done. Like your damage you took was.
Oh, it's right. Once a heavily damaged is equal to or less than his toughness. Oh, crikey! So I've got to go all the way back up to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's the nature of the injuries you sustained. Character's heavily damaged when he's taken more wound.
Oh, hang on. Let's have a look at the errata. Because if you look in the example.
Once a heavily damaged character's damage is equal to or less than his toughness bonus, then you become lightly damaged.
Yeah,
so you'll be.
And the example is at the end of this week he removes 4 damage. Oh, okay.
Because his toughness bonus is 4, because he is now 8 damage, twice his toughness bonus, he is now only lightly damaged. So you're. Oh, so but it says twice. I see what you're saying here.
It looks.
Yeah,
I think. Errata. Rogue Traitor errata.
Well, I've got the most. I got the edition that has the errata in it. And it gives 2 different ways. It says 2 different things there. I think it's once you are once you are only your toughness bonus down, I'll say you're lightly wounded, and then you'll start healing 1 per day. So where your toughness bonus is a 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you hit 14, you will be healing 1 per day as opposed to 1 per week. But you will recover 3 more because you got 3 weeks of nothing. Or did you already do that?
No, I've already done that.
Already done that, okay.
But that means, seems that, well, anyway, okay.
Okay. Then it is, hold on, let's take a look. They did borrow a lot of, so they borrowed a lot of rules for this from Green Ronin's Warhammer 2nd edition, which borrowed a lot of rules from 3rd edition D&D, because Chris Pramis was a writer on that. And one of the things they've carried over is long-term care from 3rd edition, which was a thing in Warhammer Fantasy 2nd edition, so it might be in this too. So let's take a look at Medicaid. Extended care, look at that. Oh, but you need to be... you would know that there's not a thing, so why don't you give us... 3 Medicaid checks there, Regis.
Right.
The 3 percentile rolls, please. Here we go. Success. Fail. And fail. Okay. So you will gain 1 extra point.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But then Easy Street ends. And we are back into the Tempest of the Warp. Your next choice is either... Do my ears pop or am I sounding different? And my ears popped. I had my headphones on different. I suddenly sounded a lot clearer than the muffled sound I normally get. What the fuck's happening there? All right, what you're going to get is either a warp storm, which is physical, or the temporal hole. Physical as well. So you want to risk dropping out of the warp now that you're in the home stretch, or do you wish to confront the warp storm again?
Warp storm, right? Is that our thinking, Alisanda?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. And
Yep.
Regis, go ahead and give us your navigation check, please. Success. And Alessander, with your pouting,
Oh, man.
would you like to fate point that?
Yep, I got a fate point. There we go.
There you go. Okay. So you navigate around the warp storm. Alessander and Regis, would you give us a willpower check, please?
Yep.
Regis, success. Alessandro, there's a 1d10 roll, please.
Yes.
2 points of damage, which will heal up quickly. Then, week 30, either a warp rift, which is where you get caught up with encounters, or a warp storm. Both are physical.
We want to just let my sidekick do this, and then
Surf
I can
the storm?
get a full week's rest.
Oh, are you going to do a full week's rest this week?
Well, it's just a thought, because then I can.
Yeah,
Get
I mean, I
some
think it
kind
makes
of-
sense
Sure.
to try and get you back on your feet.
Okay.
Oh, let's try. Let's just keep going for a sec. If I take another hit, then let's do that. Because.
Okay. So go and give us a navigation check. As a reminder, too, if you hit the up arrow key, you can cycle through what you previously typed in.
Yeah.
It'll save you typing in stuff each time. Oh,
Well, that was a
looking f-
willpower test.
Yeah,
so-
and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for your navigation check, please.
Oh, holy Toledo.
Success, and then Alessandro. Can you avoid the warp storm? No, you want to fate point that.
Oh, what time is it? Ooh.
Let me tell you what the consequence will be.
Yeah, I'll
Hitting
do
the
that.
warp storm, because your Geller field is damaged, we will roll once on the critical hit table on the ship.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
I mean, it can include a hull breach, which damages 1d5 components and loses a significant part of the crew, but the chances of rolling that are pretty low. I mean,
I will. Let's see. What do you have, Alessandro? You got. Oh, you got.
he's spending his last fate point to re-roll this.
I can spend a lot. I think I will do it.
Okay.
Oops. That is the roll we want. Yes.
There you
Okay.
go. It's avoided. Captain, you want to distribute some more fate points here?
Yeah, I'll give him. I'll give him a fate point.
Okay. Next week is week 31. And on week 31... Oh, actually, first, Alessandro and Regis, give us your... You've already made your successful willpower test, Regis, so you don't need to roll. Alessandro, give us your willpower test for this week. 1d10, please. Four points of damage.
Oh man, have I got a lot of scars.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So the following week, however, there are no encounters. So Alessandro will heal 5. Regis, give us your... Actually, give us 2 Medicaid rolls, please. Success? Fail. So you're going to recover 3 points in that time, Regis.
Cool.
And then we're into week 32. You have no choice but to face a warp storm. Rolled for both options. So, would Regis... Oh, Captain Aquari has assigned some fate points. Regis, would you give us a navigation check, please? Success, and then Alessandro.
Piloting.
Success. No difficulties navigating that storm. Alessandro, you're healed at the full. Oh, no, hold on. You guys got to make willpower checks first.
Yeah.
Regis, you're getting so close here. Ooh.
Oh, shit.
So 1d, 2 points for you, and then for Regis, your willpower check. You want to fate point that?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Very nice. All right. So then, Alessandro, give us a percentile roll. And this would put you in spitting distance of your toughness bonus, so you'll be healing 4. Is your toughness bonus a 4 or a 5?
Who, me?
For Regis.
5.
5. Okay, so yeah, you'll be fantastic. Yes.
Light.
Yep, so you'll 2. So you're at 15. You are healing as if you're lightly damaged now. All right. Let's celebrate by cutting ourselves. The following week, no encounters. Regis, you heal up to 18. And Alessandro, you're fully healed.
Amazing.
Week 34. Oh, we're back to decisions. The first one is Psychic Predators, which would be a psychic option for Regis to undergo a Dark Night of the Soul, or a Warp Storm. Physical.
Warp Storm, then.
Warp Storm it is.
Man, this is a stormy warp we've been through.
It has been.
You almost think that the physical manifestation of chaos would be, more easy going here. Alessandro,
Seriously.
success. Nice. That is another successful week. Regis, you are fully healed.
Man, if there is some kind of skill or talent related to flying through warp storms, I think I should give it to my character.
All right, so week 35, guys. Either spontaneous inhuman combustion, automatic fire and damage to one component on the ship, cannot avoid it, or an etheric reef, a physical threat.
Same again, I guess.
Etheric reef? This will do
I
a
think-
lot of damage to the
yeah.
ship on a fail, so.
All right.
But otherwise, we're burning up our crew. What do you think, Captain?
Yep. Reef sounds fine.
Okay. Nice. Okay. And then, Alessandro, your piloting check. Let's see how you do. Fate point that.
Yeah. So many fate points.
Seriously.
Nice. Okay. The Etheric Reef is succeeded, guys. As you segue into week 36, you have no encounter, and you are 3/4 of the way home. 180 days in the warp thus far. If you were to fill out the Imperium's TripAdvisor, how many stars would you give this route so far? Forgive me. How many Aquilas would you give this? It is the 40K universe.
0.
Well, let me tell you what you're encountering over the next couple of weeks, and you can tell me whether this will change your opinion. Because you have 2 more weeks of no encounters. Still 0? Man, tough to please. It's true. There's no help. Tourists are the worst. Next is an unavoidable encounter because it was rolled the same on each options. That is stasis. If the ship does not avoid this, the ship becomes stuck in a warp rift and drifting free, adding 1d5 days to the journey, which means potentially another encounter.
All right.
Regis, would you give us
That's
a navigation?
not that bad, to be honest.
Really not that bad as far as these potential encounters go.
Yeah.
What do you think, Captain?
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean? Well, we don't have a choice.
Yeah, we don't have a choice on
no
this one.
choice. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Okay.
give us a navigation check there, Regis.
Navigation check. Oh, what am I doing? Don't need that.
I didn't want to say it before you roll, but you haven't failed one of these yet. Alessandro, would you give us a piloting check? Oh, you have no fate points right now. Before he makes his roll, Captain Aquario, do you wish to delegate any?
Yes. This crew, I tell you.
Go ahead.
I think you were just nervously standing over my shoulders every time we're flying through one of
Now,
these
do you want to spend a
things.
fate point to re-roll that, or you just want to roll 1d5 and tell us how many days are added to the trip?
Let's add to the trip. There's still half an hour left.
All
That
right.
fate point is so valuable.
My father warned me about needy crew.
Don't roll a 5, and you won't have another encounter.
Yes.
That's
Nice.
perfect.
Nice.
Inconsequential.
Yeah.
Now, this next one. I am really sorry for this one. It is a choice of spontaneous inhuman combustion, automatic damage to the ship, or a delusional mirage, a psychic encounter.
Oh no.
So I have to pick the psychic encounter then.
Okay, so delusion mirage.
Here we go.
We'll have everybody cutting themselves before the end of the trip. All right, so give me a second here.
Together, though, you know what? As a crew.
It's nice, yeah. The crew that cuts together
Oh my
Exactly.
struts together. I don't know what else rhymes with cuts. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So the crew that burns together earns together.
There you go.
There you go. I mean, except for those guys who died, you know,
Right.
the 5,400 men who burned alive.
For the Emperor.
It's like a motivational poster. It's a Starkey's
how.
Marine hanging awkwardly off of a fence. Hang in there, fella.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to find what I'm looking for. Here. Here. Nope. Nope. Yes. All right. Regis. Da. Let's see what you've got cooking here. Okay. What you will be facing now is a contest of will. So would you tell us what you will need to structure this bulwark as? Is with something that you fear in mind. What fear will Regis arrange for himself to face to keep these winds of madness out of the ship?
And the fear of discovery of my interest in Xenos things. How I have to hide it.
So this will be a
Fear of discovery.
Orwellian kind of construct full of the Ordos Xenos, the symbol of the Inquisitors everywhere. You perhaps have yourself in a dank and barren cell awaiting judgment. Would Regis...
I never give in.
He'll never give in?
Oh, I never. I hide what. Never willingly reveal my interests.
Then I think. Why don't you give us a concealment or deceive check? Dealer's choice. Let's see if you can keep these phantoms at bay.
Sorry, deceive. Oh well, that's not going to be good.
Deceive or concealment.
Yeah, not skills I've got.
Would you like to fate point that?
Yeah. Although it's not really. Let's say it. Okay, let's. I've only got a small chance.
Okay. Let me see here. So you are in this cell. What is going through Regis's mind as he is awaiting interrogation by the Inquisition?
Yeah,
Is it for himself,
the
for
fear
his
of all that
family?
he will miss. No, it's knowledge he will miss.
Okay, so he's still concerned about when am I getting lost. So he is dragged out. The door opens and a obviously inhuman version of an Inquisitor stands there, a demonic face out from underneath the hood, in spite of the regalia of the Ordos Xenos. He drags you out of here, and in a series of actions we see you, or scenes, you are bound at the wrists, held aloft by chains, stripped, and we see strange Xenos markings across your body. And would you roll 1d10 plus 2, please?
10 plus 2.
Low is good here. So there's some point where you guys can hear screams coming from Regis's cell where he is navigating this. And just before the wave of madness hits the crew, what you can see is he is pulling all of his clothes off, revealing the kind of strange arms he's got underneath. And what is burning its way through to his surface are tattoos of some kind of Xenos markings and Xenos nature. You take 8 points of damage that toughness does not reduce, and everyone needs to give us a willpower check, please, to avoid the hallucinations that wash over the ship. Nice, Captain.
Captain holds strong.
Yeah, keeping an eye out for mutants still.
Oh my goodness.
Anyone want to spend fate points? If not, Regis, you barely failed yours, so it'd only be a D100. Alessandro, that's an impressive fail, so a D100 plus 30.
Oh, no, I better do this. I can't handle another
Okay.
bad thing. At least not of that.
D100 plus 20, please.
Oh, shit. Okay. Let's see. Slash. I have not done this roll yet.
65.
Okay.
Malignancy. There's your tormented psyche causes a physical deformity that will disappear once you leave the warp.
Oh.
Let's see.
Oh my goodness.
So then, Regis, are you re-rolling that, or are you?
No, it's more likely that I will
Okay.
do worse.
Jeffrey, would you give us a D100 roll, please?
There we go. 92. That's what we needed.
So
and I got a 24.
24. Light pains the character. Unless you shield your eyes, you suffer a -10 penalty on all tests when in an area of bright light.
So I'm wearing sunglasses around now.
So you can.
I'm just getting weirder and weirder.
And then for Regius, 92. It's the exact same thing. It's cutting flesh. So, fortunately, you can't get more cutting flesh. All right, speaking of cutting flesh, Alessander, first off, Captain, are you distributing any fate points to anybody?
Let's see here. I guess, hang on a second. I guess Alessander's out, right? So I will give him one. Regius, I think, still has one. We all have one now.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Joe, just so you know, this is an extraordinarily long. We rolled about as long as a voyage as we could, and we talked about it before, whether we were going to condense it down to one. You absolutely can do that, but just know Rogue Trader does have a lot of crunchy bits to it, so there's just stuff you can't get around. This is an exceptionally long voyage, almost as long as you can roll, so...
I think we were like 1 week off max or something. It was
like we
crazy
decided
close.
whether or not we wanted to, and we decided we were going to go forward with the rules as written. So
Prior to this, it was like a week or three, right, Kevin? Each trip was more like a week.
oh yeah,
or three.
like this is as bad as it could be. And we decided to just make roll the story where it goes. Okay, so then willpower test from Regis and Captain Aquare.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll try and. Can I re-roll it even? Is it
Yeah, you
100?
can try. Yeah, the only game we
better.
run on the channel that you can't re-roll crits is Savage Rolls.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, not you, Captain. You're not suffering from the cutting condition.
Oh, gotcha.
Just Alessander and Regis have to roll for that. Alessander,
All right, time to cut.
Time to cut. Give us a 1d10 roll, please.
I need my fate points to keep the ship from blowing up. I can
Yeah.
handle the. I
All
can
right.
handle the blood.
You're in the last 8 weeks of travel, guys. 2 months. That's all you got left. 2 points of damage for Alessander. Week 41. Your choice is either an etheric reef, physical encounter, or spontaneous inhuman combustion, automatic damage to a component. What would you guys like?
I guess the reef.
Regis? Let's see how you do. Yes. And then Alessander?
Yeah. A lot of rolls. Oh, come on!
Would you like to fate point that?
Absolutely. That's why I saved it.
Okay.
That was exactly why I saved it. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. well done.
Successfully navigated. Next. Oh, is it spontaneous inhuman combustion, automatic damage to a component, or a temporal hole? Throws you out of the rift or out of the warp this close to home. Which do you choose?
The hole? Yeah? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Well, this is the one because we could then end up with another 2-year journey or whatever.
So what do you think?
Yeah, but if we get thrown out, we're just gonna like settle on some planet and raise children.
Yeah, we're done. We just live here now.
We just live
Where
here.
are we? Doesn't matter. We live here now.
So which will it be? Risk the temporal hole to navigate around, or take the spontaneous inhuman combustion?
It's up to you,
Yes.
Captain. We're
I
out
guess
of
the-
we're out of fate points for.
So I'll do
if
the
we drop out.
hole, and I'll give Alessander the last fate point.
Okay.
Lord.
Then, Regis, would you give us a navigation check, please? You guys are 6 weeks away from home.
So close.
So close you can taste it.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
And then Alessander.
Come on, Alessander. Dig
Here
deep.
we go. Here we go. Come
I
on.
gotta get one on the first try. Come on.
There you go.
Go.
The temporal rift is avoided.
Beautiful.
Your next choice. Week 40.
Oh, don't we have to roll our bad
Oh,
thing?
yes, you do. Roll your willpower checks, please. I'm so excited for you guys to get home. Regis, resists the urge. Alessandro resists the urge. Outstanding.
Strong.
We
Next,
feel real
taste
good.
it.
Yeah.
43. Your choice is spontaneous inhuman combustion or an etheric reef
Do we get a point back as well?
for...
Not cut it, in the week though where we don't cut
Oh,
ourselves.
healing?
Oh, of healing. Yeah, I thought you meant fate point. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just,
Also, actually, hold on, Regis. You're not... you actually recover 5 because you weren't heavily
Oh,
wounded.
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
So that's...
It's only because you so
So I'm
badly cut
16.
yourself the first time. All right, so then your choice then is spontaneous inhuman combustion or an etheric reef. Which will it be?
Back to the reef.
Back to the reef
we
again.
love those reefs.
Okay.
Love 'em.
So let's see the navigation check. Here we go. 9, no problem at all. Alessander.
Come on, Alison.
Come on.
Success. No damage to the ship. Oh,
We're getting good
boy.
at this.
Guys.
We're getting better as we go.
Yeah.
Willpower check, please. From Regis
Except for
and
this part.
Alessander.
Although last week we were good.
Oh.
No.
Nah,
This
there's
week
nothing I
we're
can do
cutting.
about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're cutting.
Go ahead and carve away.
Oh, there it was.
Oh, lucky.
Oh!
Oh no. Oh no. It's gonna be right at the end, Alessandro.
Have you seen The Nice Guys? That Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe film?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a long time ago. I want to rewatch it because it's so
great.
good.
It holds up really well. But I watched it again last week, and when there's a bit where Ryan Gosling's trying to break through a window, then he cuts himself, and he's like, "That's deep. That's deep." Just spurting blood. That's
What's the
what
name
you've
of the
done.
movie?
Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys.
Yeah, it's really
Oh,
good.
it's really fucking great. Yeah.
It's worth the watch for sure. If you haven't seen it.
Okay, then it is, oh boy, week 44, guys. You have absolutely no choice in this one because there's no encounter.
Oh, that is huge. That is
Yes.
gonna maybe make it so
That
we can
is
make
5
it home.
points back for each of you. And then week 45. 4
Just
off.
sounds so wrong.
Choice of a temporal hole, a physical threat, or the warp storm, a physical threat.
Warp storm.
Warp storm it is.
Storm.
Here it comes. Guys, can you see it? It's almost... Is that footfall in the distance?
Come on.
There's a 4% chance of screwing this. Okay,
There
got
you
it.
go. Alessander,
All right.
here it comes.
Piloting.
Let's see. Success!
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
40... Alessander, you're back up to full health. Week 46, Psychic Predators. A psychic challenge that only Regis will be able to face. Or Stasis, a physical challenge that'll add 1d5 days.
Let's do the stasis.
Stasis, yeah.
You currently have 1 day added to your trip, so if you do not avoid this and you roll 4 or higher, there'll be 1 more encounter we'll roll.
Shoot. Let's hopefully not get that.
So let's see the navigation check.
There's navigation. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a physical encounter once again. Here it comes. Success once again, Alessander.
All right, here we go. Piloting.
Come on. Success. You avoid the stasis. Guys, you are 2 weeks off from footfall. I'd say home, but you are in your home already. Week 47. I roll it near the end. So once again, you cannot avoid this one. But it's no encounter. So it is only your final week. In your final week of your trip, 241 days in the warp. Will you face stasis as a physical challenge that adds the days to the trip, or
Yes.
a temporal hole?
It's a stasis.
Stasis
Oh,
it is. Go ahead and give us your navigation check. Nice. And Alessander, are you going to add another encounter onto this trip?
I really hope not.
Yes.
No! Beautiful!
Nice.
With that, 241 days in the warp, 10% of your crew dead, a infestation of Xenos ghosts aboard. You guys drop out into footfall once again. Tell us about the mood on the crew as you finally leave the... Where's everyone else? So I thought I grabbed everybody. I stick you guys over somewhere else, huh? Sorry, guys, I thought I grabbed the whole crew. Tell us what it's like. What's the mood on the bridge and the crew, the ship in general, as you guys at long last translate back into real space?
I think we're all so used to being on the ship that we're kind of don't want to get off. So it's like, Captain, where do we go next?
Right. So let's make it. Let's immediately make another jump. What do you say?
Yeah, that was
Let's head for
painless.
Holy Terror. Let's head for Holy Terror.
Let's see here.
Nearly 8 years away.
All right, so then for re-entry.
Oh, yep. Let's stop here so we have 8 points next.
You
This
perceive
is
the
gonna be exciting.
Astronomicon, I believe. Oh yeah, right.
Probably forgot it.
Yeah, I think you did perceive it. It was just a particularly shitty roll.
Yeah, I
you
think
were out
I
of fate
rolled
points, yeah.
96 and 98 or something.
Yeah. So then you do not need to roll for anything for going back in. You are precisely where you intended to be. Tell us what's going through. And as soon as you come in, the cutting for both of you will end. Your incessant search for mutants, Captain Aquare. Likewise, why were you so concerned about that for so long?
Well, for one thing, it's those blood trails on the bridge deck. It was uncanny.
Your sensitivity to light, Alessander, likewise. It has ended.
Thank goodness.
And you are all back in the back translated into real space, and we'll pick that up in 2 weeks' time and see what awaits you on Footfall. But let's see here.
Let's hope your servitors and assistants have made the Aquaria residence a pleasant place since we've been away.
Indeed.
Then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for Chapter 20 of our ongoing Rogue Trader campaign, and our Long is the Way arc of our campaign has come to an end. 2 sessions to complete a 241-day journey, guys. I wouldn't want that to be every trip. But I think that it captures even as bad as it was for you guys, like, we didn't have to bend the rules to make it less pleasant. It's another one of those things where it's like the combat. Like, I honestly thought you guys were a lot more fragile until we got into our first combat. And it's like, oh, actually, you guys are much more capable than I thought. Same thing with this. Like, it was definitely helpful having that Wraithbone hull. That was, can you imagine?
Oh, yeah. That was huge.
Oh, yeah.
You were stuck just facing whichever one.
Right.
Yeah.
That was big.
Yeah. So, so then we will be picking up on Footfall when we return, but in the interim, as is always the case for those listening at home, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and so we'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and we have a channel there dedicated to our 40K or Warhammer 40K games. Warhammer? Is it Warhammer in general or Warhammer 40K? I think it's Warhammer in general, maybe, because we've run a few of them on the channel now.
Yeah,
I think it's Warhammer in general. So there, and in addition to that, there are channels over there for finding a group, for GM discussion, for convention chat. There's a really great community that's built up over there over the years, and you are more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below in the description of the video to to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America, and not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an outstanding selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including all the Fantasy Flight Warhammer 40K RPGs. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MUSERWINTER. It's listed in the description down below, all caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase, any purchase over $10. There's also really great for those of us who are in the Great White North. There is a great deal going on right now where if you make a purchase of I think it's $399 of Canadian of product. You get free shipping on it, and I mean, if you're buying into a game or you're buying some books from a hard to find out of print game, those prices are not hard to rack up. But and likewise, you can still save yourself 10% on your purchase by entering MuserWinter. If you're listening to this after April 15th, I think, 2024, come back to one of our more recent videos, and you'll find what the current discount code is. There's also a link down below to our friend to the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel, which is the Heroes Save Villages campaign. It's something that benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, and all donations that go through that link go directly to that organization. It is active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. So a terrific organization, and all donations go directly to them. We'll be having some news soon on the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server about how we intend to thank the generous donors who donate to the campaign this year. But we have our first charity session coming up in about 2 weeks, so it should be pretty great, and it's exciting to get the charity campaigns kicked off for this year. There is also finally a huge thank you to our stalwart rogue traders. So our explorers from this evening, James, Jeffrey, and Sean, thank you so much for playing tonight, guys. It's great to get back to this campaign after our holiday break, and then we had some difficulty getting the session together, and then we chatted through one of the sessions too. So it was great to get back. Congratulations on making your long voyage back to Footfall. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in the Coronis Expanse in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a couple of hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes encountered on that long passage through the warp to reach back to their new home in the Coronis Expanse. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.